The Senate will come to order. The Secretary will call the roll.
Senator Buck. Senator Cannizzaro. Senator Daley. Senator Doñate. Senator Dondera-Luke. Senator Flores. Senator Goycochea. Senator Hammond. Senator Hansen. Senator Harris. Senator Krasner. Senator Lang. Senator Neal. Senator Wynn. Senator Orenshaw. Senator Pizzina. Senator Scheibel. Senator Sievers-Gansert. Senator Spearman. Senator Stone. Senator Titus.
Thank you. Let the record reflect there are 21 senators present. Please rise for the prayer by Reverend Jedediah Maschke of the Bethlehem Lutheran Church here in Carson City, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
We pray. O Lord our God, you are a God of order and justice, and you are pleased when people govern and are governed according to your will. We ask you in the name of Jesus Christ to bless our state and all who live here. Protect us from all calamities and disasters, and shield us from all temptations, especially those which would corrupt our officials and cause the citizens of our state to despise you, who are ruler of all. Bestow your guidance on all who are in authority, especially those serving today in the Senate. Keep them mindful of their sacred trust in public office, and grant them wisdom for their difficult tasks. Give them a sense of honesty and decency, a spirit of humility and service, and sincere care and concern for the needs of every citizen. Grant to all who live here in Nevada grateful hearts for the advantages we enjoy, ready obedience to our laws, and a suitable sense of responsibility for the rights and privileges of every citizen. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order of Business 3, reading and approval of the journal. By previous order of the Senate, the reading of the journal is dispensed with, and the President and Secretary are authorized to make the necessary corrections and additions. We're now going to proceed to order of business number 16, so the senators can introduce their guests before we start the business of the day. So who would like to go first? Okay. Senator Pizzina.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to introduce today Lloyd Gamboa, who is a resident of the very beautiful Senate District 12 and has been a nurse for 31 years. He specialized in rehabilitation and medical surgery, and he's currently working at UMC. Thank you so much, and please welcome him.
Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you very much, President. I am very honored to have a good friend from Southern Nevada who's up here today, Rob Phoenix, APRN, FNPC, HIV, PCP, AA, HIVS. And I don't know what all those letters stand for, but I know that he's, I think, one of our best healthcare providers in Southern Nevada. Rob Phoenix serves as an educator, patient advocate, and leader in the Las Vegas community. Rob is at the forefront of addressing the sexual health needs of Southern Nevada's transgender community, the LGBTQIA+ community, and racial minority groups. Rob's efforts have increased healthcare access to patients living with HIV, leading to improved access to medical care, community resources, and treatment options. Led by Rob, the Huntridge Family Clinic down in Southern Nevada provides culturally competent care for the LGBTQIA+ non-resident, non-English speaking, and low-income communities. The mission of Rob's clinic, the Huntridge Family Clinic, is to provide individualized, high-quality, compassionate care regardless of gender, gender orientation, gender expression, sexual orientation, sexual identity, race, ethnicity, or religion. Rob's clinic seeks to transform access to care by providing exceptional health care for the LGBTQIA+ and allied communities through a harm reduction lens and focus on the patient. To this body, I cannot probably count all the things that Rob has done in the clinic to help members of the community who might not get health care. And I'd ask the body to make him feel welcome.
Senator Dondero Luke.
Thank you very much. And I would like to introduce Doris Bauer to you. She works as an area nurse manager for SISU Healthcare Solutions. She is the former president of the PNA Nevada, Philippine Nurses Association, now serving in the advisory board. She's host of PNA in Nevada podcast, and she has made public awareness of different health issues in our community and beyond, and the healthcare professionals and organizations involving patient care. Please make her feel welcome.
Senator Lang.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 3 guests with me today. First, if you'd please stand, I'd like to introduce Jan Giles. Right here, Jan is the president of the Education Support Employees Association Union in Clark County, which represents over 8,000 support professionals in the Clark County School District, and she has worked for the school district for 26 years. Melissa Bozen is a previous president of the Washoe Education Support Professionals Union, which represents 2,000 support professionals in Washoe County School District, and she worked for Washoe County School District for 18 years. And then right here, this is Ward 2 Councilman Dan Shaw from the city of Henderson. He was appointed to serve in 2017, was later elected to serve in 2019. Before his appointment, Councilman Shaw served as the chair of the Clark County Planning Commission. He also served as chair of the City Henderson Planning Commission from July 1999 to 2010, during which time the city's master plans were revised and the city's development service section was implemented. He currently represents Henderson on a wide variety of boards and commissions, including the Clark County Regional Flood Control District, Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada, and the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Dan is a proud veteran of the United States Army. Please make my guests feel welcome.
Senator Severs-Gansert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have with me today Dr. Janine Packham. She's an advanced practice nurse, registered nurse providing care to Nevadans veterans at the Reno VA Medical Center. Dr. Packham is a former president of the Nevada Advanced Practice Nurses Association and continues to be an advocate for improving health care access for Nevadans, including mental health care access. Dr. Packham is currently pursuing a postmaster's education in psych mental health. She's been with us before advocating for certain bills related to advanced practice nurses, so please make her feel welcome.
Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am very excited to have with me some students from the University of Nevada School of Medicine. So I am excited to introduce you first to Callie Griffin, who is a second-year medical student at the University of Nevada, Reno. She is interested in general surgery and hoping to graduate in 2025. And then I am also excited to be joined by Mackenzie Montero, who is also attending the School of Medicine at the University of Nevada, Reno. And she hopes to specialize as an ENT, which I also learned today is technically otolaryngology. Did I say that all right? Okay. And hopes to graduate in 2025 as well. As always, I'm always happy to have students from the University of Nevada, Reno. Go Pack, my alma mater. And if we could please make them feel welcome.
Senator Donate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I have the honor of being joined by 2 students. I have Daphne and Vish. They're both UNLV School of Medicine students. They're currently in the process, they're 4th year, so they're currently in the process of waiting where they're going to match for their residency programs. Daphne is going to be going for psychiatry, and Vish is going to be doing hematology oncology. I mentioned to them that they have to come back 100%. So they have family members here, so we're excited to see them graduate and serve our community. So please join me in making them feel welcome.
Senator Gokachia.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am very fortunate today to have a constituent of mine, Dr. Brian Denkowski. He is a nursing instructor at Great Basin College in Elko and currently serves as the program director. Dr. Dankowski is passionate about nursing and nursing education, addressing knowledge and skill gaps in nursing-related and to other vulnerable and marginalized patient populations. GBC, even though it's a small college, I'm very proud of them. They graduate around 50 nurses a year, but you know, they are one of the number one programs in the state and in the Western region. We are so proud. We have to grow our own out there in the rurals, but it's because of quality people like Dr. Dan here, and we really appreciate him and what he does for Great Basin College and all of Nevada. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Senator Buck.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Deborah Collins. She's a registered nurse with over 20 years of experience. Currently, Deborah is the director of the Nevada Healthcare Occupations Promoting Employment, the Nevada HOPE program. It provides a one-week healthcare boot camp preparing underserved and underrepresented individuals to place them as certified nursing assistants. Nevada HOPE also assists with career pathways into nursing because Nevada ranks 49th in the nation for number of nurses per capita. Deborah's work also helps increase the number of bedside nurses to care for our state's patients. Deborah also currently serves as the vice chair of the Nevada Action Coalition, the driving force of the future of nursing, Campaign for Action. They affect long-term change at local, state, and regional levels, providing opportunities to transform healthcare through nursing. She's here today asking to support the Nursing Licensure Compact and funding for a Nevada Nursing Workforce Center. She's also a Henderson resident. Our nurses are such selfless, wonderful caretakers, and so please make her feel welcome today for all of her work.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually was supposed to have two guests, but I don't. But I wanted to, my mom had a more than 50-year nursing career. She started as a candy striper in the 1950s. In 1962, she got her LPN, so I don't have to have that degree anymore. She went on to be an instructor at Truckee Meadows Community College. On her death in October of 2019, she was still a teacher there. Her legacy lives on, though. I have, as you know, I have 4 daughters. 3 of them are nurses. My daughter Sarah got her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from what was then the University of Southern Nevada. Now it's Roseman University. My daughter Mallory, who's the one pregnant with twins, she's actually working right now on her BSN. My youngest daughter Larissa is a nurse. And my daughter-in-law, Allie Hansen, married to my son Daniel, who's an anesthesiologist, is also a certified registered nurse anesthetist. Got to make sure I get the terminology right. So my mom's legacy lives on after her 50-year nursing career. We still have a huge connection to nursing. So I want to know all the nurses here, hey, I know what you go through, and we love you, and we appreciate so much what you do. And we're delighted, too, to see the constant increase in the value of nursing. The wage scale's gone up a lot. Maybe you can thank the unions for that, too. But whatever it is, we're very delighted to have that. I'm very honored to have, I feel like my mom's presence is here to a certain extent because she absolutely loved nursing. So would you please all give my missing mom and my 4 family members who are nurses, as well as the rest of the nurses here, a warm welcome from the Nevada Senate. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Neal.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to introduce Linda Pollock. She is an RNC BS, and then she has her MPA. She's a registered nurse certified in obstetric nursing, a BS in health sciences, MPA and Master's of Public Administration with an emphasis on healthcare. She's been a registered nurse for more than 50 years. She is proud of her profession and serving her community with love and joy. She has worked from the patient's bedside to the administrative boardroom as a staff nurse, head nurse, director, educator. She's taught nurses, medical students, and OB/GYN resident physicians, but no position has been more compelling to her than her current position as a project coordinator for NV Hope, which is the Nevada Action Coalition project, serving underrepresented populations for seeking healthcare careers and becoming CNAs and assisting them in seeking employment with NV Hope partners with tuition reimbursement. She's also a resident in my district and doesn't live very far from me. Let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Pollock.
Senator Hammond.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the honor of having with me today Councilwoman Carrie Cox. Councilwoman Carrie Cox is the newest member of the Henderson City Council, elected to represent Ward 3 in November of 2022. A Henderson resident for more than 30 years, Carrie is active in her community and represents Henderson on the Clark County School District Oversight Panel for School Facilities and the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority. Prior to elected service, Carrie was an educator for more than 30 years, most recently serving as a reading interventionist at Pinecrest Academy, Sloan Canyon. She's also a small business owner and has worked as a family law paralegal, advocating for children and families. And while not a resident technically of my district, more I think the District 20 over there, my colleague over there, sorry, she just wanted a better view. But, I've known Carrie for many years and have an honor to call her my friend, and I hope you can all make her feel welcome.
Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the distinct honor to have with me today Peggy Lee. She's a registered nurse. She's also a resident of Senate District 1, lives right down the street from me. And I guess the most fascinating fact for me, and I did not know this, when I was hospitalized for COVID in 20, she was one of the nurses that took care of me. So I am really glad to see her here today. She's been in nursing for 7 years, so please, please, please help me make her feel welcome.
Senator Krasner.
Thank you, Mr. President. My guest today is Maria Costa Nadora. She was born and raised in the Philippines, and she's an RN. She has been a nurse for almost 30 years, and she is also a licensed nursing home administrator. Please help me make her feel welcome. Thank you.
All right, thanks to all of you. We will take a brief recess. The Senate will come to order. We are on order of business number 8, waivers and exemptions.
Notice of exemption, February 23rd, 2023. The Fiscal Analysis Division, pursuant to Joint Standing Rule 14.6, has determined the eligibility for exemption of Senate Bill number 10, signed Wayne Thorley, Fiscal Analysis Division. End of exemptions.
Thank you. Order of business number 9, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Assembly Joint Resolution 10 of the 81st session, introduced by Assemblyman Watts, etc., and Senators Harris, Neal, and Spearman, proposes to amend the ordinance of the Nevada Constitution and the Nevada Constitution to remove language authorizing the use of slavery and involuntary servitude as a criminal punishment. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Excuse me, this is a resolution. Section 1 and Section 1.
Are there any amendments to the joint resolution as a whole?
There are none.
Are there any remarks from the floor? Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am pleased to stand in support of Assembly Joint Resolution number 10 from the 81st legislative session, which does remove some references in our Nevada Constitution to language that authorizes the use of slavery as a criminal punishment. I think that we were very pleased to see this come forward to us in the Legislative Operations and Elections Committee, and I think it is about time that we have this particular resolution come before the voters so we can remove that language because it's just unnecessary and offensive. And so I would urge my colleagues' support.
Thank you. Senator Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. For those of you who have not read the United States Constitution lately, while we can remove this from our state constitution, it still remains in our federal constitution, and I urge my colleagues in the federal government to make similar steps today. In the immortal words of Melissa Jefferson, better known as Lizzo, it's about damn time.
Thank you. Senator Neal.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of AJR 10. And I wanted to just give some remarks. We have a bitter history in this nation of slavery, and the provision to remove slavery out of the Constitution is a mandatory action. The provision actually created several systemic pieces of racism that we still have in our government today. So right after slavery was abolished, that is when slave owners in the South started to institute black codes. And the black codes actually mandated that any slave that was found on the street outside of curfew, that didn't have proof of employment, that did not have, that was found loitering, was then found themselves in the prison system working on a plantation for free, or working for mines, or working for private corporations, which then ultimately led to convict leasing. And so this particular provision of mandating that in cases of punishment, you could be enslaved, created the convict leasing system that we currently have in America now that allows prisoners to go into the prison, work for free for a private corporation, and that too needs to be abolished in our system because its roots and its elements are built into a belief that black persons were not free and that they were entitled to be selected and chosen to work for a corporation in return to be in the prison system. And I just wanted to bring that up because I don't think we know how closely related convict leasing is to the actual removal or the creation of this provision, because it came on the hinges of the Emancipation Proclamation, and quickly within 3 years, the Southern legislators started to do the black codes, which stayed with us until like 1963. And so I wanted to bring that up and urge my colleagues to vote for AJR 10 and to remove any remnants of slavery in our Nevada government.
Thank you. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of this resolution, and I just want to join my colleagues who have previously spoken to say that 2024, once we pass this out of this building, citizens of Nevada will vote on it. And it is my prayer that this resolution will pass, and it will pass in great numbers. Unfortunately, that won't be the end of racism. The words will be out of the Constitution, but we still have vestiges of slavery in the almost seemingly impenetrable systemic racism that is pervasive. You may remember in 2020, we had a resolution that stated racism is a public health crisis. And it is a public health crisis because, number one, I don't know that we have fully accepted this very painful past. And what you don't face, you can't fix. And so I hope that this resolution will be an opportunity to face it and to fix it. It's not the end. We all have work to do. And in the immortal words of the prophet Amos, let justice roll down like a mighty river. Let justice roll down like a mighty river. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Scheibel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also rise in support of AJR 10 today because when all of us took this office, we took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of this state, and this is simply indefensible. And so it's incumbent upon all of us to take the steps necessary to remove this offensive, insulting, unnecessary language from the Nevada Constitution so that we can all be true to our oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of this state. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other remarks? Seeing none, the secretary will call the roll. Does anyone wish to change their vote? The secretary will close the roll. The vote on Assembly Joint Resolution 10 of the 81st session is 21 in favor, 0 against. The joint resolution, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed and ordered to the Assembly.
Senator Stone has approved the addition of Senator Orenshaw as a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 183, and Senator Spearman has approved the addition of Senator Krasner as a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 184. That concludes Order of Business 9.
Thank you. Order of Business number 10, introduction, first reading, and reference.
Senate Bill 193, introduced by Senators Stone, Hansen, Buck, Titus, Goycochea, and Krasner, and Assemblywoman Dickman, etc., revises provisions governing the commerce tax. End of bill.
Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer to Committee SB 193. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Stone has referred SB 193 to the Revenue and Economic Development Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 194, introduced by Senators Orenshaw, Flores, Krasner, and Lang, revises provisions relating to step therapy protocols. End of bill.
Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, President. I move that Senate Bill 194 be referred to the Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Thank you. Senator Orenshaw has referred SB 194 to the Commerce and Labor Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 195, introduced by Senators Wynn, etc., and Assemblyman Yeager, etc., revises provisions related to cannabis. End of bill.
Senator Wynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer Senate Bill 195 to the Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Thank you. Senator Wynn has referred SB 195 to the Commerce and Labor Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill 196, introduced by Senator Hammond, revises provisions relating to interscholastic activities and events. End of bill.
Senator Hammond.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that SB 196 be referred to the Committee on Education.
Thank you. Senator Hammond has referred SB 196 to the Education Committee. Are there any objections? If not, so ordered.
That concludes Order of Business 10.
Order of Business number 12, second reading and amendment.
Senate Bill 91, introduced by Senator Lang, authorizes a licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor to supervise a certified problem gambling counselor intern. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, do enact as follows, Section 1 and to Section 1.
Are there any amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Senate Bill number 91 is ordered to the general file.
Senate Bill 132, introduced by Senators Pizzina, et cetera, and Assemblyman O'Neill, et cetera, revises provisions relating to insurance coverage for living organ donors. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, do enact as follows, Section 1 and to Section 1.
Are there any amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Senate Bill 132 is ordered to the general file.
That concludes order of business 12.
We'll take a recess.
It's cool and windy.
The Senate is back in order. Order of business number 6, messages from the Assembly.
Assembly Chamber, Carson City, February 23rd, 2023. To the Honorable the Senate, I have the honor to inform your honorable body that the Assembly amended and on this day passed as amended Senate Bill number 124, amendment numbers 2 and 3, and respectfully request your honorable body to concur in said amendments. Signed, Carol Ayala Sala, Assistant Chief Clerk of the Assembly. End of messages.
Thank you. Order of business number 14, unfinished business.
Senate Bill 124, introduced by the Committee on Finance, revises provisions relating to the tax upon the net proceeds of minerals and royalties of mining operations. The Assembly has amended this bill with amendment numbers 2 and 3. Does the Senate wish to concur or not concur in this matter?
Thank you. Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to concur with Assembly Amendments number 2 and 3 to Senate Bill 124.
Thank you. Are there any remarks? Senator Severs-Gansert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I urge that we concur because this bill was referred earlier in the session. We had a late hearing, and we weren't quite sure how it was going to affect our budget. And in fact, the night after we heard it, we learned that there was going to be a shift of funding from the general fund to the education fund, which is good, but it took a while to figure out what was going to happen with this bill, and I think we've got 3 amendments now. So anyway, I support the concurrence because I think it's important that we are able to put more funding in education. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other remarks? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Senate Bill number 124 is ordered enrolled, and the Assembly is to be notified of our action.
Concludes order of business 14.
Order of business number 16, remarks from the floor, introduction of guests. Are there any remarks? Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I move that the Senate stand in adjournment until the hour of 11 a.m. on Monday, February 27th, 2023.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. The Senate is adjourned.